Hi, everybody. We're going to do another one of those quiz reviews, just like we did last time. Excuse me, it'll be worth up to 2 points or 2 points in the assignment category. And it's really beneficial to watch these because we're going to just go over the quiz and take a look at it and give you a couple of strategies. Okay, of course, do the video first. And then I explain where the concepts for the quiz come from, and then the breakdown of the questions and what they're about. And that also that you got to know your stuff here, like prepare for this one especially. Okay, everybody, let's take a look. And again, this is the instructor view, so things look differently here for me than they will for you, but you'll get the gist. So we've got this first section. Let's go through the whole thing together first. First section, some general questions about deductive versus inductive arguments and the different types of each, right? So we're taking a look at everything. And boom. Then for part two, these relate to identifying and evaluating inductive and deductive arguments. So if you remember, inductive arguments, the logic of an inductive argument is evaluated for strength or weakness. The logic of a deductive argument is evaluated for validity or invalidity. So we're not going to be talking about like actual truth here. We're not talking about cogency with inductive or soundness with deductive. So we're just doing the first step of each of these. So your task will be to read the argument and then choose from the multiple choice selections, obviously. So first, I'm going to just take you on a tour through the problems, and they're very similar to the ones that you did in the exercises for these modules, the assignments. So here's what we're looking at. Okay, now let's answer one from each section. We will, now what I'll answer this one. If a deductive argument has true premises and a false conclusion, then we know, so it's asking you, what can we possibly know about an argument, a deductive argument with these qualities? And the answer to this is in section 1.4 of the textbook. It's in one of those little charts. Keep that in mind. But using that chart, you'll be able to figure out that the argument is invalid. And if you understand a deductive argument fully, the definition of a deductive argument is an argument where if the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true as well. Right? That's the definition of a valid deductive argument. If the premises are true, then the conclusion's got to be true. So if you have a deductive argument that has true premises but a false conclusion, then you know the argument's invalid. So 5 choices here, and this is the answer. Okay. So then down here, same sort of question is asked about, but about inductive arguments. Remember, there's a chart in section 1.4 that goes through this, a small little chart. Use that to answer this question. Okay, now let's choose, we'll answer this one. Okay, either Bill Clinton or George W. Bush was president when the World Trade Center towers were destroyed, but Bush was not president at that time. Therefore, Bill Clinton was present when those buildings were destroyed. So remember, we're only talking about the logic here. So what you want to do when you read your problem is go, first of all, am I dealing with an inductive or a deductive argument? And the answer to this one is this is deductive. This is a disjunctive syllogism. And you can know this by looking at, hey, it's either this one or that one. It's not this one, so it must be that one. Now, what you're going to look for, you'll have these choices for all of those last 14 problems of the quiz. You have the same 4 choices. Is it deductive and valid? Or is it deductive but invalid? Or is it inductive and strong? Or inductive and weak? And remember, we're not moving on to evaluating whether the premises are true or false in fact, right? We're just talking about the logic here. So once you say it's okay, I see that that's deductive, then we're dealing with validity or invalidity. Those are the only choices. So I just wanted to talk to you for a minute about this. You should think of it like either X or Y, but we don't have Y, therefore it must be X. That's the way you should be thinking about this question, because that's the way you think through validity. It doesn't matter whether these premises are in fact true or not. As a matter of fact, you should ignore that, right? That has nothing to do with validity. You presume, just pretend for a minute that the premises are true. If it was either Clinton or Bush that was president when the towers were destroyed, and if it wasn't Bush, then it must be the case that it was Clinton. Well, yeah, that's a valid argument. Valid deductive argument. Notice, though, that it's not true that Bush wasn't president at the time. He was. So this argument would technically be unsound, but I'm not asking you about that because I don't want you to have to run around and fact check stuff. Okay, you won't be having to fact check anything for this because we're only dealing with the evaluation of the logic. So the answer to this one is deductive and valid. And then once again, for all of these questions, you'll have the same 4 choices. That, you have to, is it deductive, valid, deductive, invalid, inductive, strong, or inductive, weak? And that's it. Okay, everybody. Good luck, and let me know if there's anything I can help you with.